Recently I read the confronting yet totally relatable short story, Cat Person, by Kristin Rupiah. Like most of the female population, the story resonated with me, both from personal experience and also a friend's encounter. Everything from questioning why a guy might be acting a certain way to being totally into them and then totally repulsed by them hit a nerve with me and my friends. But what resonated most was the part about settling for bad sex, because let's face it, we've all been there. Listen, Mia Friedman, Holly Wainwright and Jesse Steffens talk about Cat Person and what makes it so brilliant. Post continues below. Reading the story, I was instantly reminded of friends' encounters with a character very similar to Robert. It got me thinking, how often do women find themselves settling for mediocre sex rather than avoiding the awkwardness of rejecting the guy they are not really into? Whether it's some tiny thing that repulsed you, or you just simply can't be bothered, somehow, the option of being honest is worse than going through with bad sex. Last weekend I was catching up with my high school friends. We don't often get a chance to catch up, so when we do, we talk about everything and anything. My friend Izzy started talking about a guy she had met on Friday night. They had matched on Tinder earlier in the week and he ended up coming to meet her out with some mates. Instantly, her story reminded me of Margaret in the short story. Now to give a bit more context, Izzy messaged this guy that day in a state of sheer boredom and asked him to grab a drink. He replied, "I am out with the boys tonight, but shall we meet up later?" Eventually, 10:30 p.m. rolled around and a few Aperol spritzers in, she told him to come meet her. Then at midnight, Prince Charming himself arrived at the bar and they danced the night away. Probably add in a cheeky D-floor pash or two here too. This guy, Richie was apparently AOO/10 in the looks department and a solid 8 personality. Izzy's got stupidly high standards, so this guy must be model material. A few drinks in, Izzy decided she'd go home with him. Izzy never does stuff like this, we all know that of her. In fact, in my time knowing her, she's only ever had 2 one-night stands. But sometimes choices are blinded by beauty and a little bit of booze, so in the Uber she got. They went up to his room where he said he had a no jeans policy. Of course he does. That's super weird, obviously, but at this point Izzy was kind of having fun and thought, why not? And so Izzy found herself giving in to his advances. His ocean blue eyes and solid jawline made it pretty impossible not to, but at the same time, she was also not wanting to look too easy, wondering if he would think of her differently if she went all the way. She was also slightly turned off by the lack of cleanliness in his room. Had he not heard of dusting? And why were there so many beer bottles on the floor? And so she changed her mind and they stopped kissing and went back to talking. For the next hour they talked about who knows what, all the while Izzy was distracted by the stench of stale cigarettes and beer that was filling the room. Who smokes in their bedroom these days? Gross.